Good morning, Amazon. What's today?
Today is Monday, November 14th.
14th. Happy 14th, everyone. Okay, Amazon, give us a flash briefing.
Jamie, here's the latest from your flash briefing. In NPR News.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Dwayne Brown. President Biden met with his Chinese counterpart today on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Bali, Indonesia. That meeting comes as the two superpowers try to manage differences as they compete for global influence. Here's Biden speaking to reporters after the face-to-face with China's Xi Jinping.
We're going to compete vigorously, but I'm not looking for conflict. I'm looking to manage this competition responsibly. And I want to make sure that every country abides by the international rules of the road. We discussed
It's not competition, dude.
Biden says the world expects the U.S. and China to be able to work together in addressing global challenges from climate change to food insecurity. The White House says Biden reiterated U.S. support for its long-standing One China policy, and the president says he doesn't believe there's any imminent threat that China will try to invade Taiwan. Ukraine's President Zelensky is making an unannounced visit to Kherson to mark the country's retaking of a key southern city. NPR's Greg Myrie tells us he received a rousing welcome as he spoke to residents who endured 8 months of Russian occupation.
The crowd in Kherson cheered as Zelensky told them, quote, "We are, step by step, coming to all of our country." Zelensky has visited frontline areas throughout the war, but usually on secret trips announced only after he'd come and gone. This time he appeared openly on the streets, speaking and waving to residents as Ukraine celebrates one of its biggest victories of the war. The city is lacking most all basic necessities, and Russian troops are only a short distance away, having retreated across the Dnipro River. In contrast, Russian President Vladimir Putin has not spoken about Kherson since the Russian troops recently fled. Greg Myrie, NPR News, Kyiv.
Employees of the University of California's 10 campuses are going on strike today. E.O. Kobe of member station KQED says the walkout involves 48,000 employees seeking higher pay and expanded benefits.
UC academic workers demand compensation in line with local housing rates, support for working parents, transit benefits, and better supports for international students. But most of all, they say they want respect. Tanzil Chowdhury is a PhD student at UC
No,
Berkeley.
they want that as the
I
most
have
of all.
gotten the distinct feeling that the university is just not taking
Respect can come second.
The union
Trust
has
me.
filed more than 20 unfair labor practices against university
In fact, that's
administration,
normally how
accusing
it
them of
goes.
negotiating in bad
Get
faith.
what you need first.
For NPR News, I'm Eva
Later
Kobe
comes the
in San
respect.
Francisco.
When you see
If you haven't already purchased your airline tickets for the holidays, you'll probably pay more than last Thanksgiving or Christmas. That's because airlines are still operating with fewer flights, even though passenger numbers are back to pre-pandemic levels. I'm Dwayne Brown. This is NPR News. Former Vice President Al Gore is promoting a project that uses artificial intelligence to track the world's largest emitters of greenhouse gases. NPR's Juliana Kim says Gore unveiled that tracking system at the UN Climate Summit in Egypt.
The tracker is known as Climate Trace. It uses satellites, sensors, and machine learning to capture emission levels in real time. Gore spoke to All Things Considered about the database. He said, up until now, there hasn't been a lot of information on who is exactly polluting and how much.
We know the general sectors where it's coming from,
factories.
but now we know with precision exactly where it's coming from.
Gore said it will become impossible for companies to underreport how much they're polluting. It will also help countries stick to their pledge of reaching net zero greenhouse emissions by 2050. Juliana Kim, NPR News.
It's impossible.
In Charlottesville, Virginia, police say 3 people were killed and 2 others wounded in a shooting last night at the University of Virginia. Police say a student is being sought as a suspect. School officials issued an alert last night notifying the campus community of an active shooter and warned students to shelter in place. Classes have been canceled today as multiple police agencies, including the state police, are searching for the suspect. Wall Street futures are pointing lower this morning following last week's optimism about lower inflation. The stock market coming off its best week since early summer. Global stocks are mixed at this hour. Asian shares down, while stocks are trading higher over in Europe. I'm Dwayne Brown. You're listening to NPR.
Hi, I'm Daniel Alarcón, host of NPR Spanish podcast.
Skip.
In NASA news, NASA sets new coverage for Artemis on moon mission launch. NASA to brief status of Artemis on moon mission today. NASA successfully launched the third in a series of polar orbiting weather satellites for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, 1:49 a.m. PST Thursday, as well as an agency technology demonstration on a United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. NASA astronaut and former U.S. Air Force Colonel Bob Behnken is retiring from NASA after 22 years of service. His last day with the agency is Friday, November 11th. NASA will host a virtual media briefing at 10:30 a.m. EST, 7:30 a.m. PST, November 14th, at the agency's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California to discuss the upcoming launch of the Surface Water and Ocean Topography (SWOT) satellite. In weather. Currently, in Seattle it's 37 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Today, you can expect intermittent clouds, with a high of 50 degrees and a low of 36 degrees. From NASA. NASA sets new coverage for Artemis on moon mission launch.
Okay, cool.
NASA to brief status of Artemis.
Off. Amazon, tell us a good joke.
What happens when bakers lose control of their mixers? Their funnel cake becomes a tornado.
Amazon, tell us a bad joke.
Why can't you hear a cow on a video call? It keeps getting moo-tid.
What? Okay, I guess she nailed the bad joke. Okay. Have a wonderful day wherever you are. And a nice, easy work week. Peace out.